Hello everyone. So welcome to this video. I just wanted to talk briefly about the psychics of the Zodiac and those who have extremely high power of psychic communication and its many different forms within the Zodiac, and how you can tell what type of power you possess based on your signs and based on your chart. Something brief, not the full what I could go all day into, but just something brief to help you out as far as um, connecting with a psychic or connecting with someone who can help you along your way, along your path, get clarity in whatever area of your life you need clarity on. That's usually why people go to psychics or why people, want to go to a spiritual light worker of any capacity. So, um, we have light workers, we have psychics, we have mediums, we have clairvoyants, we have empaths, we have all type of different forms of psychic abilities. And so um, I just want to help people be able to know who they mesh with, because there's a whole bunch of different people who this is their path to be a light worker. This is their path. This is what they're called to do. And this is what they do. And so, and then there's the fakes, the ones who just do it because they know they have the ability and know how to do it. And so they do it to make money or to get power or whatever the case may be. And then there's the ones who don't even know that they're capable of doing this for themselves. So, first, let me say that we are all psychic. We all have a spiritual connection, and we all can get in tune with that spiritual connection, and we should get in tune with that spiritual connection. So, there's just others of us out there who are just endowed with extra power in the spiritual world, in the spiritual realms, because we have work that we need to do here on the earth that deals with a super deep spiritual connection. That's it. But we all have the power to spiritually connect, because we are spiritual beings in a physical form, in a physical body. That's it. So, anyhow, something to do like straight off the bat. You don't need to know someone's chart in order to see or to know really how connected they are and really how gifted they are. All you really need to know is their sun sign. Now, if you do know their chart, you can really find out how connected they are, or really if this is their path, or this is their gift, or if there's someone just using the little knowledge that they have to play people. So, off the bat, all water signs are super psychic, are super clairvoyant, are super mediums, are super everything spiritual. All water signs. So if you come into contact with a Cancer, Scorpio, or psychic, if you come into connection or in contact with the Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, then you can know off bat that they are what they are about and they're good at what they do, no matter what level they're at, whether they're newbies in it and they're just now finding out their power, and so they're working it out, they're still super gifted and super powerful. To the ones who are masters, um, you know, that's a whole nother video. So anyhow, so if you're going to a babalao or a some type of priestess or priest or a light work of any kind, and you're getting to know them, because you want to get to know these people. They're like your doctors. You don't just go eeny meeny miny mo with the doctor. You do your research, you get to know your doctor, you feel comfortable with your doctor, and then they become your personal physician, and you develop a relationship with that doctor. It's the same thing with light workers. It's the same thing with all the people that you go to receive some type of spiritual guidance from. You need to develop a relationship with them. You don't have to be best buddies. Usually you won't, because usually spiritual workers, we kind of stay to ourselves. We have our own very small knit circle, and we stay in that. But we do branch out to be able to help others in the world. So you do need to know a little something. You do need to have some type of relationship with that person, with these people. So you should know their sun sign. It shouldn't be that big of a deal for them to tell you that. And if they're like tripping off of that, ask them why. Like, what's their real reason as to why they don't want to tell you something as simple as the day that they were born. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know the place or the time just to get their sun sign. So I would be kind of weary of that person if they're not willing to give up that little bit of details, because that lets you be able to connect with them, you know, and feel comfortable with them. So water signs, all water signs, sun signs, um, you're good to go pretty much. You won't really have too many problems with the Pisces, Scorpio, or Cancer. So I call them the first tier, the top tier, mediums and psychics and clairvoyants and empaths and life workers, spiritual workers, period. Water signs are top tier. Then you get to the middle tier, which is tied between fire signs and air signs. So air signs is Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, and fire signs is Sagittarius, Leo, Aries. They're in the middle tier because it's polarities. It's, you can either get someone who is super skilled, super talented, super in tune with spirit, but they're malicious in their true intent. They're not good. They use their power for, you know, um, things that we don't really hold at high honor. They're powerful. They will pull the cards and pull it all correctly and be accurate as but they're being malicious in their intent. They're trying to get something from you, trying to, so you can either get that or you can get someone who is just like a water sign. I want to help you. I really want to help you. I really want to get you on the right path. I have the knowledge. I have the know-how. I see what I see, and I see clearly, and I really want to help you. So you can get either in with that. That's why they're in the middle, because they are powerful, but what are they using their power for? And then you get to the bottom tier. It's not saying that earth signs are lesser than any of the other signs I named. It's just saying that with earth signs, number one, you're rarely going to see them in spiritual work, just because you're dealing with more practical people. You're dealing with more earthly minded people. You're dealing with more people who they deal with the physical as opposed to the spiritual. They are still spiritual people, because remember, we're all spiritual. It's just with them, you rarely see them in this line of work. You rarely see them practicing in the spiritual practice, but they know that it's real. They know that it's real, and so you can. So since you rarely see them there, I can't put them higher up because you rarely see them there. But when you do see them, you just kind of have to be cautious with earth signs. That's Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo. Kind of got to be a little cautious with them when it comes to spiritual work or light workers, because they are dealing with the dark side. And either they can be good, kind of like be like allies in the dark side, or they can be working straight up for the dark side. For personally, you can either get someone who's just real good at their work. They're really persistent. They're business minded and focused, and they get things done on a timely manner and blah 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 blah. Really great. Or you can get the earth sign workers who are power hungry, who are love that prestige that comes with it. Like, oh, you got to come to me, to get this and get that and to be guided and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I know. It's like a ego thing, because I got power, I got prestige, a love of money, because there's money everywhere, in every field, in every line of work. There is money to be had. So you'll get some who they fight with their integrity. They put the money over actually being a help to people, which is why we do what we do. We're here to help. And to receive help too, because we're not perfect. We need help as well. So that's why we usually, when you're a reader, you have a friend or a close someone in your circle who reads for you, because sometimes we can get biased in our own readings for ourselves. So yeah, that's the tiers. Top of the line is the water sign. Middle tier is air and fire, and then the bottom tier, still very powerful, but you gotta watch out, is the earth signs. You could be dealing with materialism. You could be dealing with someone who is extremely critical, hypercritical of you, and has certain type of biases that mess with their interpretations or mess with their dialogue with spirit because they're too caught up in their judgments of you, which stops them from being of a true help. You may have, like I said, a materialistic person. It could go either way. I have guests here. My cousin, who's Sagittarius, is here, and then I got my Virgo brother over there having a full-on conversation. So I'm gonna stop the video here. I might come back and really get into depth about, how the signs work beyond the sun sign, because your sun sign just gives me a quick synopsis of, okay, this is what I'm working with, but I get a lot more information from knowing your full chart. And just to give an example for myself, um, I am a sun Aquarius, I am a moon Aquarius, and I'm a Pisces ascendant. So it was meant for me to get into astrology. Like, if you're an Aquarius, you understand. Like, even if you're not drawn to it initially, it's something about it where it's like it's so much fact and so much you can get from it that you just like, you know what, I'm gonna get into this. I'm really gonna search and understand this a little bit better. And so it was just meant for me to get into astrology. And my North Node is in Pisces. So it was meant for me to do spiritual work. It was meant for me to become a light worker and to really get in tune with my spiritual path for myself. And my sun and my moon are both in my 12th house. So for those of you who know a little astrology, you already know off top where I'm going with this. It's a very 12th house is ruled by Pisces, so it's definitely one of those things where it's a conjunction of fact and knowledge and intellect, which is Aquarius, and then the spirit, the dream world, and the unknown, the unseen, and delving into that with my Pisces path of a North Node. My South Node is Virgo. That's a whole, Um, but it allows me to understand how I am gifted in making potions, making physical things to make and give to people that helps them in whatever they need help with. Um, For example, I make my own special little shea butter mixture. From my other video, you might have seen me all glazed up because I had just got out the shower and I just lather it on for the nighttime so that it soaks in. So in the morning, I don't have to like do any extra work. I'm just all buttered up and beautiful and glowing, but not shiny and like oily, but like really just nice, beautiful glow. And I mix in the things that I'm led to mix in, and I'm like, that's my concoction, and it brings out so many beautiful things in my skin. I've always had skin problems, skin troubles, acne, and all the best. And it wasn't until I started actually putting my hands into the work that I was able to bring out something beautiful. Now, am I supposed to mix $1 million company regarding around like skincare and all that? No, I probably was that in another lifetime, so I don't need to worry about that right now in this lifetime. Now I have ascended to, okay, I was doing stuff for the physical, now I'm doing stuff for the spiritual. Now I'm mixing in a spiritual component into what I've already been doing physically, because Virgos is physical. It's practical use of magic. So, I've ascended to another point. So in this lifetime, I'm supposed to take it to another level. Also, I have a lot of houses. I have a lot of planets in my 11th house. And my 11th house is Capricorn. And so, particularly, I have Neptune, Mercury, Saturn, Yeah, I think that's it. Neptune, Mercury, Saturn, all in my 11th house, all in Capricorn. So, once again, another reasoning is why I'm supposed to get into astrology, that this is going to be one of my many lines of work that I would do over my lifetime, was to get immersed into astrology, to get immersed into the spiritual practices of being a life worker, a light worker, a life worker, right? Because I am the truth, the way, and the light. Or as some people say, I am the truth, the way, and the life. So either way it goes, it's the same thing. Um, so that's, those are how my planets, I mean, amongst other things, it gets deeper than that, of course, I know. But that's just a small synopsis to let you see of why I was led to do what I'm doing now. There was a time where I was Noah. I was running from it. Like, I ain't about to do, like, no. People get on my nerves. They don't listen. You give them sound advice, and then they be like, and then something happens to them, and then they be like, they come back and be like, oh, you were right. I know I was right. I wasn't trying to, have you go down the wrong path. I was trying to help you out. Like, I don't want to deal with people, but just like Noah had to learn that you have to do what you were called to do. You have to do it. There's no running from it, or it will find you and force you into it. So are you going to get forced, or are you just going to do it? Either way, it's going to happen. Either way, I was the Joseph. I had all those dreams. Pisces is dream central. And I had a lot of prophetic dreams when I was younger, and still do to this day. That's how I do a lot of my work, is through the dream realm. So while I'm sleeping, I receive a lot of messages. It's not just through the cards. Sometimes it's literally I'll get a message in my dream, or I'll have a vision. But I have more dreams than what they call wake visions. When you're awake, but you see something that's not physically happening in front of you, but you're seeing something. It's a vision. Whereas in a dream, you can receive messages in your dream too. Well, I was just like Joseph. Like, you tell me your dream, I can interpret it for you. I had dreams that didn't come to pass until way later, but they came to pass. So, and I had to go through my, I had to go through my prison state, my prison mode, my being caught up before I was able to be where I am now to do what I was meant to do. So, and things always play out how they're supposed to play out, Anyhow, I think that was it as far as being able to detect a good light worker or someone to work with. The best thing to do, no matter what, is to use your intuition. Your ancestors speak to you, then your intuition speaks to you. Your intuition lets you know something ain't right about this person. And your ancestors will never stop, tapping you on your shoulder to tell you, hey, yo, something ain't right about this person. I know. Get out of there. Listen. But it's hard to listen when you're not having constant conversations, and that's why we need to connect with spirit. We need to be strong in our connections to spirit. You don't have to be a spirit worker to do that. We all need that connection with our ancestors. When I was first getting into this path and learning about the different spiritual systems, I came into contact with this particular guy who knew his stuff. He knew his stuff, and he worked his magic. He's definitely powerful, but he was malicious in his intent. He truly did not want to do for the people. It was more of a selfish thing. And he was an Aquarius, right? So, and what made me want to work with him was like, oh, he's an Aquarius. So I know a little bit about astrology. So I'm like, oh, so he should be good, blah, blah. But what I did not fully understand at that time, which I know now, because I'm years into astrology at this point. But what I know now is that for each planet, for each sign, for each representation, there's a shadow side, and then there's the bright side or the light side. Because the sun it don't go nowhere, it stays right there, and then all the planets rotate around. So at one point, There's going to be a side that faces the sun and gets all the light, and then there's going to be another side that's dark, right? That's not facing the light. A lot of us live on either side. A lot of us live in the light. A lot of us live in the darkness. You can be good on either side. The side doesn't matter, but it does change things. It does. So you can be an evil Aquarius. You can be an evil Leo. You can be the most purest, sweetest, kindest, loving Scorpio. You can get it either way. Either way, right? But I didn't know it at that time. So I, got caught up. And he was very intellectual, very on point. He knew his stuff. He was truly intuitive and a psychic and a clairvoyant, all that. He was truly that. But what was he doing with his power, right? He wasn't there to help me. I'm sure he wasn't there to help a lot of the people he claimed that he was trying to help. So that kind of like jaded me a little bit and made me go, I don't want to deal with no people. Like, I can do this all on my own. Like, I don't need nobody. Forget him, blah, blah, blah. So then I was led, a little later, I was led to another person. Because something was like, I need someone to tell me. I mean, I can pull the cards for everybody else, but for some reason, when I'm pulling it for myself, I'm unsure, I'm unclear, I don't know. So then I was led to another man, and he was a Cancer. And before I can even step through his door, step through his threshold, he was like, "Oh, you're a reader." And I'm like, "Oh, like I'm not a reader. I mean, I dibbled and dabbled in some tarot and stuff. I'm not a reader." Like, I'm thinking this to myself. And he's like, "I know a reader when I see one." And so I was just like, "Oh, okay," And then went through the reading with him, and in the midst of the reading, in the middle of the reading, he was like, "Don't test me." I didn't say anything about testing him or, trying to see if he was really, about what he said he was about or anything like that. I didn't say anything wrong, but he knew what I came there to do. I did come there to test him. I did come there to see if he was truly true, because I was jaded. I didn't feel, I was still like looking at people with the side eye, like, I don't know. And so, he stopped and he was like, "Don't test me. I can't stand people who try to test me." He was like, "I've been through the test. I've been through the fire and I passed. So either you take it or you don't, but you know." And I did know. I did know that he really, truly cared. We had just met at that moment. I was referred to him by one of my friends. And so, he didn't know me from pot of beans, but he knew me, right? The first time physically meeting, but I'm sure we've met plenty of times before. And so, he told me straight up, don't do that. Don't do that, because it's offensive to people who are truly about their art. You can test somebody and they can pass the test that you put them through, but still be not good for you. You don't need to be a good person to read accurately. Okay? We all, like I said before, we're all psychic. We're all spiritual. But we all don't have the same intent. Same focus, same love, same heart. Same sincere heart. So I learned from that. I learned from that reading, and I grew from that reading. And, little ways down the road, he's now my tata. He's teaching me this spiritual practice and belief system of Palo. And one day, it is my mission. It is my path that I've chosen. When I am ready and when he sees me fit as ready, I will be initiated as a priestess. But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. So don't be like, "So you're a Palo priestess?" No. But I am in that initiatory phase where I'm building up to that initiation. And so I understand the importance of having a guide, a physical guide, because we all have spiritual guides that work with our ancestors, but it's important to have a physical guide. We need that here in this life. So if you're dealing with someone who is like, I do this all on my own, I don't work with nobody tells me what to do, I take my own advice, blah, 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 run fast, because we all need someone who's already ahead of us in the game to kind of give us the heads up about where we're going and how to get there properly. Pause time. So yeah, I have plenty to say on a whole bunch of different topics regarding this, as many as others. But why don't you guys just leave some questions that you have for me, or concerns, or just thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know, so that, because I'm making a whole series just simply putting my thoughts on things and putting it out there for you all. So go ahead and leave those questions and I'll get to you.